Hello, my name is Chelsea Brasel, and this is my Science of Reading presentation. So reading is a fundamental skill that plays an integral role in our lives. It allows us to access information, communicate effectively, and engage with the world around us. But have you ever wondered about the science of reading? How does it actually work? In this presentation, we will explore some of the key theories and concepts related to the science of reading. So what is the science of reading? The science of reading refers to the research and understanding of how humans learn to read, how reading skills develop, and cognitive processes involved in reading. It encompasses various disciplines such as neuroscience, psychology, linguistics, and education. The goal of the science of reading is to identify effective instructional methods and intervention strategies that promote literacy development for all individuals. This field of study investigates topics like phonetics, phonology, fluency, comprehension, vocabulary acquisition, and the impact of different teaching approaches on reading outcomes. So we're going to start with the models of the science of reading, and the first model I'm going to talk about is Erie's phases. Dr. Linnea Erie proposed a model that outlined the developmental stages individuals go through when acquiring reading skills. The 4 phases include pre-alphabetic, partial alphabetic, full alphabetic, and consolidated alphabetic phase. During the pre-alphabetic phase, children rely on visual cues such as pictures or logos rather than letter-sound relationships. As they progress into the partial alphabetic phase, then they start recognizing individual letters and associating them with their specific sounds. In the full alphabetic phase, readers begin decoding words by applying their knowledge of letter sound correspondences. And finally, in the consolidated alphabetic phase, readers achieve automaticity and fluency in word recognition. So another model that is used in the science of reading is Scarborough's rote model. It was developed by Hollis Scarborough. This model emphasizes 5 essential components of effective reading instruction. So it starts with phonological awareness, phonics, vocabulary development, fluency, and comprehension. These strands intertwine like a rope to support proficient reading skills, and each strand on the rope represents a different aspect necessary for successful reading acquisition. Okay, and the next model I'm going to talk about is the 4-part processing model. It is for word recognition. So the first stage is called orthographic analysis, and this is where individuals analyze the visual features of the letters and their arrangement to recognize the words. The second stage is phonological analysis, which involves mapping the visual information from the previous stage onto phonological representations and accessing the corresponding sounds. The third stage is the semantic analysis, and this is where individuals derive meaning from the recognized words by connecting them to their stored knowledge and understanding. And finally, the 4th stage is called context integration. It's where individuals integrate additional contextual information to improve comprehension and interpretation of the recognized words. So this explains and it gives you an example, and it helps you to visualize and to facilitate the understanding. And it also tells us that these stages occur rapidly and automatically during reading, often within milliseconds. So understanding this model can help researchers and educators gain insights on how, children, students, whoever you're teaching reading to occurs, and helps develop those effective strategies that you can use to teach those reading skills. Okay, so the next model I will be talking about is the simple view of reading, model, and this refers to its reading comprehension is considered as the product of two key components, and that's decoding and language comprehension. So decoding refers to the ability to accurately translate written words into spoken words, and it involves recognizing and correctly pronouncing those words. Individual letters or letter combinations, okay? And then language comprehension, on the other hand, refers to understanding the meaning behind the words that are being read. So both decoding and language comprehension are essential for effective reading. If one component is weak, it can hinder the overall reading comprehension. So what the simple view of reading does is it proposes that a person's reading ability can be measured by comprehension skills. So for instance, if an individual has a strong decoding but weak language comprehension, their overall reading ability will be compromised. And similarly, if someone has excellent language comprehension but struggles with decoding, they may also struggle with reading as well. So teachers play a crucial role in helping students develop both decoding and language comprehension skills through explicit instruction, practice activities, providing appropriate text, and independent reading. So, and additionally, too, it says in the article that parents can support their children at home by, trying to foster a love of reading and engaging in reading together at an early age. And the earlier you start, the easier it's going to be for them later on in their older years. Okay. So the next slide is phonological awareness. So I'm just going to discuss a little bit about what each of these concepts are. So phonological awareness is one of the foundational skills that are highlighted within Scarborough's rote model. It refers to an individual's ability to identify and manipulate sounds within spoken language without relying on print or written symbols. Phonemic awareness is a more advanced subset, but we'll get into that here in just a minute when I go to the next slide. So phonemic awareness, like I said, it's a more advanced subset of phonological awareness, which focuses specifically on identifying and manipulating individual phonemes, which phonemes are the smallest units of sounds within words. So both of those skills, phonological awareness and phonemic awareness, are both very important, and they both play a crucial role in developing strong reading abilities, as they help learners understand the sound structure of language and its relationship to written words. So those concepts are both very, 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 very important. So the last concept I want to talk about is phonics. So phonics is another integral component of effective reading instruction. It refers to the systematic teaching of the letter-sound correspondence and their application in decoding words. Phonics instruction helps readers develop phonemic decoding skills, enabling them to recognize and pronounce unfamiliar words accurately. By understanding the rules and patterns of English language, readers can become more proficient at decoding printed text. So in my classroom, I have a word or a phonics wall, and my kids can refer to that, and it really helps them. And I know that the science of reading is teaching that right now, is to use those walls and like the vowel valleys and whatnot. And my kids refer back to that a lot. If they're trying to spell something, I'm always telling them, well, let's look to the sound wall, and let's look in vowel valley, And so it really helps them to be able to see that so they can refer back to it. But teaching it at a young age and building that foundation, knowing the proper digraphs and blends and things like that, it's so important. Okay, in conclusion, so the science of reading, it delves into various theories and concepts that shed light on effective reading instruction. Erie's phases provide insights into developmental strategies individuals go through when acquiring reading skills. Scarborough's rote model emphasizes the 5 critical components necessary for proficient reading acquisition. Phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, and phonics all play vital roles in building strong foundational skills required for competent reading. And then Kilpatrick's 4-part mental processor model highlights the different cognitive process involved in skilled reading. And finally, Go and Tunber's simple view of reading underscores the importance of both accurate word recognition and oral language comprehension for successful reading comprehension. By delving into these theories and concepts, educators can gain a deeper understanding of how to support their learners in developing solid reading skills.